What up, reader fam? It's 2017, and with a new year comes resolutions. Now, I'll be honest, I don't normally set resolutions every year just because I kind of have the same resolutions. I kind of just recycle them. And that is to read more, travel more, write more, exercise more, eat healthier, and make more videos. But today I'm going to be doing the New Year's resolution book tag. I saw Lala over at Books and Lala do this tag yesterday, so I was like, I should do that tag. This book tag was created by Charlotte over at Charlotte Frears, so I will leave a link down below to her original video, and I will also leave a link down below to Lala's video because she's the one that inspired me to do this tag. So this tag basically just asks you a bunch of questions of things that you would like to accomplish reading-wise throughout the year. So without further ado, let's get started! Question number 1, an author you'd like to read that you've never read before. For this one, I'm gonna go with Kevin Hearn, who is the author of the Iron Druid Chronicles. I've had this series on my radar for quite some time now, and I would like to just dive into the series and kind of see if this is a series that I am interested in carrying on. This series is kind of an urban fantasy story. We follow this druid who is living in Arizona, and he has this sword that this Celtic god wants, and this Celtic god will do everything in his power to get that sword. So it's kind of about the druid going up against this Celtic god. I've heard that the main character is hilarious and that he's super witty, so I can't wait to read about him. People have said that this is the adult version of Percy Jackson, so I'm really looking forward to reading this book and seeing if I feel the same way. Question number 2, a book you'd like to read. That's a pretty simple question. I think I can answer it. For this one, I'm gonna go with Sleeping Giants by Sylviane Nouvelle. The second I heard the synopsis for the story, I wanted to read it. Basically, this story follows a girl named Rose who is one day just casually riding her bike, and the next thing she knows, she's falling, and she lands in this giant metal hand. So it's a mystery story trying to get to the bottom of what the heck is up with this giant metal hand. I don't know if they just find the giant hand or if they find the full-on giant body, but it still sounds super interesting, and it's told in a really interesting way as well. It's told through interviews, journal entries, articles, and transcripts, and I really like when stories are told in a really unique way, so I'm looking forward to reading this one, and I would like to read it this year. Number 3, a classic you'd like to read. I actually have 2 books for this answer. Jesse the Reader reading classics? Say what? Surprise, surprise. The first one is Their Eyes Were Watching God, and I actually started this one in 2016, but just never got around to completing it. And then A Separate Peace. I think that both of these stories kind of have similar themes. They're both about people going through hardships, and Their Eyes Were Watching God, we follow this African-American woman who is just facing a lot of difficult times in her life. She deals with things like divorce and poverty and discrimination. And then in A Separate Peace, we follow these 2 boys who are at a boarding school in New England during World War II. And it's about their friendship and something that they both face together and how it just completely changes them. I don't know what it is exactly. Obviously, I'm gonna have to read the book to find out, but I'm really looking forward to reading both of these classics. Like I said, I already started Their Eyes Were Watching God, and I really enjoyed it. I just started reading it at the wrong time in my life. It was like a crazy busy time, so I'm going to definitely complete this one and then hopefully carry on and read this one as well. Number 4, a book you'd like to reread. For this one, I'm gonna go with The Bad Beginning by Lemony Snicket. This is the first book in the A Series of Unfortunate Events series, and I've been trying to reread the first 4 books in this before the A Series of Unfortunate Events series comes out on Netflix, because that's what the adaptation covers, is the first 4 books. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to do it. I'm definitely gonna be able to reread this one because I'm already like halfway through. This is my first time rereading this series. I read this when I was like in 3rd grade, I wanna say. I don't know, I was pretty young, so it just feels so good to be back in this world and reunited with all of my favorite characters. Number 5, a book you've had for ages and want to read. For this one, I'm gonna go with Wonder by Rj Palacio. This book is about a boy who has facial deformity, and he's never gone to public school until now. He is going to public school, and I believe it's a story about him just trying to convince the other kids that even though he's a little bit different, he's just like them. I know that this is a well-loved book, and I've been wanting to get to it for quite some time now, so hopefully it'll happen in the year of 2017. Number 6, a big book that you'd like to read. This is one that I actually do not have in my hands currently, and that's because it's not been released yet, and that is the final book in the Throne of Glass series. I know it's probably going to be huge, and that's why it's my answer for this question. The books just keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger with each one added to the series, and this is going to be the final book, so it's probably going to be massive. I'm really excited and nervous for this final book because I know that Sarah J. Maas is not afraid to torture her characters. Number 7, an author that you've read in the past that you want to read more from this year. For this one, I'm gonna go with Brandon Sanderson. I have only read The Final Empire by Brandon Sanderson, and I always talk about how much I love this book, but I've never read any of his other books, and if I loved this book, then I imagine that I'm going to love some of his other books, so I really need to give some of his other books a try. He's got more adult books, he's got more young adult books, and he's also got middle grade books, so there's a variety of choices out there, and I just need to go out there and grab some and read them. Number 8, a book you got for Christmas that you'd like to read. For this one, I'm gonna go with This Adventure Ends by Emma Mills. This is a story about a girl who moves from New York to Florida, and she joins this new friend group, and they're all all kind of misfits, I believe. And then she's sent on this mission to go and find this missing painting or something like that. It sounds really interesting. I'm a contemporary lover and I've been wanting to read a book by Emma Mills, so now is the time to read a book by her. Number 9, a series you want to read from start to finish. Well, I just recently made a video of all the series that I want to complete in the year of 2017, so I will leave a link down below to that video if you want to go and check that out. But a series that is on my priority list that I have not started yet is the Heroes of Olympus series by Riordan. So many people have been asking me to read this series ever since I completed the Percy Jackson series, so this is going to be the year that I start and finish this series. It's going to happen. I have no idea what the series is all about. I know that some of the characters from the Percy Jackson series do show up throughout the story, but I have no idea what this series is all about, so it'll be interesting to find out what it's about. Number 10, a series that you want to finish that you've already started. You guys can probably guess my answer, but that is the Six of Crows duology. I am embarrassed that I have not completed this duology yet. I do not know what's holding me back from completing it. I really need to stop talking about wanting to read this book and actually read the dang book. Walk the walk, talk the talk, read the book. It's not that hard, Jesse the reader. How many books do you plan to read in the year of 2017? On Goodreads, I set my goal at 30 books, but I definitely want to read more than that. I pretty much set my goal at 30 books because last year I wasn't able to reach my goal of like 60 books, I think, so I kind of lowered my goal this year because I know that I'm going to be able to reach 30 books, but I definitely want to read more. That's more just so that I can reach my Goodreads goal, but I want to read more than 30 books this year. I just don't have a set goal. And question number 12 is, do you have any other reading goals? I think my main reading goal this year is just to make diversity more of a priority within my reading. I want to read about diverse characters, I want to read own voices books, and I just want to be more aware of the authors that I'm reading from. That's just my main goal when it comes to reading. I don't really have any other goals. I would like to read more graphic novels and comics this year, and I would also like to kind of dip my toes into like the poetry genre, because that's a genre that I really haven't exposed myself to, so I'd really like to get into that. And I love reading poetry, like I love reading poetry on Tumblr and stuff like that, so I definitely want to get into more poetry books. So if you have any recommendations, hit me up in the comments. So that's it for this book tag. I'm not going to tag anybody else, but if you want to do this tag, you're more than welcome to. You've now been tagged. You guys should let me know down below in the comments some of the goals that you have when it comes to reading this year. I'd love to hear from you guys and hear what you're wanting to accomplish when it comes to reading. If you like this video, be sure to give it a big thumbs up. I post videos frequently on this channel, so if you want to be notified for when I post new videos, be sure and go and click subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you soon with a new video. Bye. Choo.